Well, everyone, welcome to the 2024 Atlanta Falcons offseason. Because I'll be the first to say it, it starts today. And I don't know if that offseason includes finding a new quarterback and a new head coach, but the Bears walked all over the Falcons, 37-17 the final. And this is going to raise a lot of questions about Arthur Smith and his future in Atlanta for a third straight losing season. Another losing season, which is up to seven now since 2017. And it's tough to see the Falcons go down this way because twice at the end of the year, with their back somewhat against the wall, the Panthers game and this game, they just turtle up, and this is the performance. But the big question, of course, right now is Arthur Smith. Is Arthur Smith going to return? And here's what I'll say in his defense. Arthur Smith did not throw 4 interceptions today. I feel a little bit bad for Art because I don't think he's all that bad of a coach. I just think he got horrible quarterback play in 3 seasons in Atlanta, and he never showed improvement. Like, it's somewhat impressive that he won 7 games with what he got out of the last year of Matt Ryan, the Mariota and Desmond Ridder trip, and then the Taylor Heinicke and Desmond Ridder experience this year. So on one hand, it's kind of like impressive that he even won 7 games with all that. But on the other hand, it's 3 straight, 7, maybe 8-win seasons if they win next week, but I'm not even thinking about that. You're not showing any improvement. You keep getting top 10 picks, and we're not seeing improvement in the win column, which is the ultimate deciding thing here. So I go back and forth on whether or not I think Arthur Smith should return. I'll say this much. If you were anti-trade for Justin Fields, I hope today changed your mind and you came to the side I've been on since October, which is if I'm Atlanta, I am calling Chicago night and day this offseason because the Bears secured the number 1 pick in the draft, and I want to know what it costs to get Justin Fields. Did we all not love what we saw to Justin Fields today? Like, remove your bias aside for a second here. He was running out of sacks. He was making incredible touchdown throws to DJ Moore. The name of the game should be, you should actually kidnap Justin Fields right now. You should leave Soldier Field with Justin Fields. Right? 268 yards, 1 touchdown. Look what Taylor Heinicke did for a second. We'll throw Taylor Heinicke's numbers up here. I mean, they went to Desmond Ridder at the end. It didn't really matter. He's 10 for 29. Two-thirds of his passes are incomplete. 2/3 of the time, he drops back, fucking throw it to the ground. Or throw it to the Bears, which he did 3 times. So, the quarterback play was just atrocious. That's really what did Arthur Smith in. And that's why I have a little bit of compassion for him, that if he ends up losing his job, I hope he gets another job. Because he didn't really get a good shake of it in Atlanta, because this is what he had to deal with in his last game. Now, he's not blameless. His team lost by 20 points. You would like to have seen maybe a better showing when you know it is win, and maybe you have a chance in Week 18 since the Saints beat the Bucs. You got the help you needed. But instead, his team just, George Costanza, turtles up. It's cold outside. It's wet. I was in the swimming pool. Unreal. So the Falcons overall go down to the Bears, and we're going to get into our post-game show, into our sponsor read in just a moment here. So before we get to the rest of our post-game show, Prize Picks, our great sponsor, has an awesome deal for Falcons fans. When you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you get a $100 deposit match up to $100. So the way Prize Picks works is you pick 2 to 6 players and then choose more or less on their projected stats. I took the less on Jaren Hall in Sunday Night Football, the more on Jordan Love and Justin Jefferson's yardage, and then the less on Alexander Madison at 19.5, which I know is a low number, but he had negative yards last week. So if you like my selections for Sunday Night Football and you want some skin in the game this New Year's Eve, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. That link is in the comments and description of today's video. Now, for those of you sickos that want to know what does Atlanta need to do to make the postseason, a lot. And I don't even want to think about it because it's not happening. Like, I don't even have faith in them winning next week in New Orleans, let alone needing all the help from L.A., Seattle, not even L.A., Seattle, the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears. They don't have tiebreakers over Minnesota or Chicago now. So, no, I'm not interested in that. Bijan today was okay. He kept running into just bare walls. 15 carries, 75 yards. Allgeier had the play of the game offensively, which without that play, I mean, talk about an absolute disaster on offense. They would have lost 37-10, and Desmond Ridder would have under 100 yards. And then finally, Drake London. I don't think London touched the ball in the second half. 4 grabs, 56 yards. Drake London is the best receiver you have by a mile. And on 4th down, Taylor Heinicke throws up to duck to Kadero fucking Hodge. What are we doing? Throw it to Drake London. The ball should only know one man's hands. Drake London's. In the 4th quarter. Season on the line. He'll Hodge my ass. I'm sorry, Kadero, but you're not Drake London. And the Falcons defense got ran over. Like, they got punched in the mouth, and then they somewhat settled into the game, but they never really had a good grasp on this game. There were no takeaways. They couldn't bring down Fields pretty much at all today. And DJ Moore, who was a Falcon killer in Charlotte, picked up where he left off. 9 grabs, 159 yards. I mean, every single element of this Ryan Nielsen defense failed today. The defensive line did not generate pressure. The linebackers weren't doing much over the middle of the field or stopping the run. And then the secondary, 9 grabs, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, Falcons 37-17. The big question now is Arthur Smith. Does he continue to coach this team into 2024 after this season? Or do you go out and get a new head coach? And who's going to be your starting quarterback? Because Justin Fields, if the Chicago Bears don't want him, man, he made a great audition today to come to Atlanta and be the Falcons' starting quarterback. I mean, I don't know if you're Terry Fontenot or Arthur Smith, and if you hold on to your jobs, how you do not blow up the Bears. You should be taking down cell towers in Lake Forest at Bears headquarters, begging to get Justin Fields back to the Peach State. And see. 37-17 the final. Make sure to subscribe because we are your number one, and I mean this, no cockiness. We are the number one Atlanta Falcons offseason YouTube channel. No one's going to do more mock drafts, free agency videos, rumors, updates than we are. So make sure to subscribe if you are not already, and we're going to see you guys for what's going to be a long offseason early and often.